What is going on, bottom line viewers? Antonio Brown, AB, Mr. Big Chest, is ready to cash those checks because he's going to Oakland. He is going to be an Oakland Raider. Raider Nation, stand up. Antonio Brown, one of the best receivers in the NFL, is going to play for the charismatic, out there, crazy coach John Gruden. His quarterback is going to be Derek Carr, and the Raiders are going to be so much fun. Dilly Vanilli, this is going to be great. 3rd and 5th round pick in 2019 in the draft. Not, I guess, you know, the price probably went a little bit down because of the whole Buffalo Bills situation. It would have been very interesting to hear actually what the Bills were going to give up because we don't know. But we want to hear from you guys in the comments. Let's get it going. I'm pumped. I got in here as soon as I can. Dilly Vanilli, what do you think about this trade, bro? Antonio Brown, Raiders.
Well, this is we talked about this yesterday. As you guys know, 2 days ago, we released the Bills one, the fake news.
Hey, Mr. Fuzzy, get in there.
Fuzzy, this is your webcam. This is the webcam we got here. Yeah, so a couple days ago we talked about that. It was an interesting situation. And last night we talked about possible locations for Mr. AB, and it looked like the number 1 position was going to be here. So I feel like this is just pretty much common sense at this point. We knew it was going to happen. I personally like it. I know Gruden's got this big elaborate plan. He's like, year 1, it's not going to be a very good start, all right? It's not going to be a great setup, but I'm going to get a lot of draft picks. People think I'm going to look not that great, but then I'm going to go out there and make these big moves, and this is the big move. This is the first of the Gruden sightings for his long-term contract. He wants to make the Raiders a winner. I don't know how successful he's going to be in that, but he's working on the effort to do so. We will see what the Derek Carr situation is. I probably will play at least 1 year with AB. We'll see how that goes out for him. But overall, I think it's one of the better positions for him to land in. I feel like the 49ers were my most hype team if he was going to go somewhere. But I think Oakland is a good start. You know they're moving to Las Vegas. That's going to be a big factor with AB. He really wants to be in those bright lights, if you will. And it's going to be a big market going forward. So not this year, but next year they'll be there. And overall, I mean, I just want to see AB play football. You know what I mean? I want to see him out there. I want to see him in this new environment. It kind of feels like the T.O. situation. He left 49ersville, went to the Eagles. You know, it's a different kind of ball game now. And overall, I'm liking it. And we got contract details as well, if you want to hear about that.
What are the details, Adam Schefter? Give it to me.
All right, 3 years, $50.125 million. Max value is 54. He's getting 30 of that guaranteed. So it was more than nothing that he had. He didn't have anything guaranteed. Now he's getting 30
what
million.
I said at the beginning, Mr. Big Chest got those big checks.
He got a big check, big old big check for 3 years. That's $16 million a year, and 30 of that's guaranteed. So
that's pretty good because honestly, I heard he wanted like $18 million. So I mean, 16's a good little middle point there. Right. But I think you brought up a really good point that I really want to drive home. The Oakland Raiders needed to make a big move because they're not going to be the Oakland Raiders for much longer. So they're going to be the Vegas Raiders. And when you're the Vegas Raiders, when you're going to a new market, you need superstar players. Antonio Brown is a superstar player, especially after this whole crazy stuff that's gone on. I mean, his brand has exploded. His Instagram followers are going up. His Twitter followers are going up. He's reaching that Odell Beckham range of superstardom right now, Antonio Brown, because he's being an absolute drama queen. But, I mean, it's working out for him as a brand, and it's going to work out for the Raiders. In terms of popularity, in terms of bringing eyeballs to the team, the Raiders are already a very strong fan base from, in the entire United States. But because they're moving from Oakland, which is a diehard fan base in Oakland, to Vegas, they're going to need that support. They're going to need that big name player because they don't have it other than Antonio Brown, unless they draft somebody that ends up being a superstar. So that was a huge part of the trade, in my opinion. And to get him for only a 3rd and a 5th round pick, I think that's a great value because we were talking about Antonio Brown, even at his age, for a 1st round pick, I think would have been a great value. because, you know, he's a top 5 receiver. He's one of the best route runners in the game. He is excellent after the catch. He demands double teams. Like we said in the video with the Buffalo Bills, he opens up your entire offense. So now all your other receivers are going to be good. Or better, I should say, and take advantage of their matchups. No longer is your wide receiver 2 your wide receiver 1. He's your wide receiver 2. No longer is your wide receiver 3 your wide receiver 2. He's your wide receiver 3. So it helps the depth chart. It helps the matchups. And it sets up an offense that Jon Gruden really wants to run. He needs that centerpiece. Every offense needs that centerpiece to run effectively, whether that's, you know, the Steelers, the Patriots, the Cowboys, the Raiders. They need that centerpiece, and Antonio Brown can definitely be that, at least for a couple of more seasons. You said it's 3 more you said it's 3 seasons?
Yep, 3 seasons.
3 seasons. I think that's a great contract.
Yeah.
I think the Raiders win here.
I think Gruden pulled off the ultimate finesse. He still got his first 2.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. He still has 3 firsts.
He still has the 3 firsts and the 2 seconds.
And Antonio Brown.
And Antonio Brown.
The only way this doesn't work is if Antonio Brown, like, Randy Mosses the Raiders.
Absolutely just doesn't give a shit. And then
like, just sits out. And then he gets traded to the Patriots for a 4th. Like, that's the only way it happens. You know? So, yeah, I think the Raiders absolutely murder this trade. I think they win this one. Cool. And because, like we said, they still got their picks, and I think, like we said, they needed that big name. And I think, you know, Gruden, you know, we were all over him last year, not fans of Gruden last year, even though before the season we were all for Gruden. I still think Gruden is a good coach. I don't think he's a bad coach. I still think he's a good coach. I think he needs to implement his team. Hopefully he can be able to draft some players. Hopefully Mike Mayock can help with it because he's the new GM. Hopefully they can get some guys in there in the draft. They really need to nail these picks. You know, don't let this Antonio Brown trade take the focus away from this draft, because they really need to nail those picks. If those first-round picks from Cooper and Mack don't come through, then it's still a failure for Jon Gruden. But if they do, and they get Antonio Brown for a 3rd and a 5th, we're talking about a Raiders team that could quickly, not only like turn around their franchise, but quickly turn around their franchise.
Yeah, first year into Vegas kind of situation.
Yeah.
Not this season, but next season. That's crazy.
And I think a lot of this also, it depends on Derek Carr.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, I know for at least next year, that is going to be the quarterback choice for AB. After that, it depends on what Derek Carr brings to the table. Because, again, we've been skeptical of him ever since his injury in 2016. I don't know.
I've actually heard the Raiders are very high on Kyler Murray. Would it be insane for them to trade up to the 1st pick?
That would absolutely be insane.
You think it would be insane?
I think it'd be insane.
Why would it be insane? Just because of Carr's contract?
Yes, that's one thing. Well, okay, first off, what would it take for the Cardinals to be like, we're not going to take Kyler Murray? Because it feels like they want to take Kyler Murray.
It would probably take them saying, hey, we have Rosen and we actually don't mind him. And it would probably take at least, like, where are the Raiders sitting, 4th or 3rd?
4th, I believe.
4th? Mm-hmm. It would take the 4th pick, and it would take probably the other pick, one other pick, and probably like a 3rd or a 2nd.
It'd have to be a crazy amount, because the thing is, I feel like the Cardinals want him. I just don't think Kingsbury wants him. Like, I feel like he wants to get Kyler Murray.
I do too. Like, I think that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying, like, would it be out of the realm of possibility for
I think I don't think it's out of the realm, but it's in the edge. You know what I'm saying? Like, that'd be a pretty crazy idea for them to do. Then again, we've seen what Gruden's done. He's got a very set game plan. So if he's going to be ballsy and be like, all right, this is what I've set up for. Let's get this. Let's get our guy. And plus, you saw the chemistry with him last year. They didn't like each other. They did not like each other as much as the pairing had sought. Like, when Gruden got there, it looked like he was going to be the pet project. He's already soured him after 1 year. So.
And like we said before, I don't remember what video we were talking about it, but Derek Carr, I think he played better over the course of the second half of the season. And we do, looking at this depth chart right now for the Raiders, they have a lot of needs. You know, they have some players that they can work with. I think Arden Key was a nice pick for them last year. Maurice Hurst was a nice pick for them last year. Yep. But they definitely need like multiple defensive linemen. They need multiple linebackers. They need multiple corner. Like this isn't just one player. Like their whole defense needs to be revamped. So like if they're really going to trade for that, it's kind of like it's hurting your franchise unless you think Kyler Murray is going to be like stud central
guy. Yeah. No, I think they're going to get Josh Allen. That's my number. If I have to think of who they're going to get at number 4, it's Josh Allen. Obviously not the Bills quarterback, if you don't know. I feel like that's where they're going to go. And then, like you said, that defense has got to be the number 1 focus. I don't see them doing anything else. What the hell just happened on my screen? Okay.
And guys, if you're just joining us, you've never been to the Bottom Line View, make sure you subscribe. We're building big things here. We've had our most successful period in only 10 days. We've had like 700 subscribers. So make sure you join the community here at the Bottom Line View. We're trying to kill it in this off season. We went live like 1 minute after the trade happened. So let's go. Let's go. Support us. You know, hit that like button, subscribe. You're going to get some good analysis on the NFL. We'll get to the chat shortly. We're just going to keep going over the Raiders, go over the Steelers. We haven't gone there yet, but there's so much to talk about, guys. So if you really want your question to be answered, if you donate to Super Chat, we'll get to your question right away. But if you don't, then just wait, hold on, and we'll get to your question as soon as we can. So looking at the Raiders, more so like looking at the roster, now they have their number 1 receiver for 3 seasons. They don't need to worry about that in the draft in the first round. So those rumors of them picking Metcalf that high probably aren't going to happen no longer. So they can switch their focus to the defense, pick a guy there. At wide receiver right now, they still don't have a lot. They have Jordy Nelson, who's old as dirt.
Old as hell.
Seth Roberts is nothing special, and they have nothing else. They have a ton of cap space, so potentially they could pick somebody in the second round at receiver, but they're going to have to probably add another receiver. And their best weapon from last year is a free agent, Jared Cook. How much does it cost for them to retain him? I think it would be wise if they do so. Yeah. Their offensive line, they picked Colton Miller in the first round last year. It sort of was a reach, but I think he can develop into a good player. They have a decent offensive line. Donald Penn's getting older, but they still have Rodney Hudson, Kelechi Osemele. Those players make a lot of money. Gabe Jackson's okay. And they need to look at a running back. And I know a lot of people are talking about Le'Veon Bell. What would you think about What would you think about Le'Veon Bell going to the Raiders to team up with Antonio Brown?
Here's the thing. They have the cap space. They have the idea to do so. My idea is that they're going to draft Josh Jacobs from Alabama in the late first round. I think that's what they're going to do. But think about, I mean, if AB's already there, he's going to be like, well, I have the movement. I can do what I want. Let's go over here, and Oakland will want me. I feel like they will want me. That being said, I don't know if that's the number 1 option because I feel like he's going to be in it for the more money more than anything else. I feel like there will be bigger contracts for him. I don't know. What do you think?
I think that the Jets are the favorite for him.
That's what I think too. That's the number 1 team.
But if you really think about it, there's not a lot of landing spots. So the Raiders kind of, because of their cap space, I think they can pull it off. But my thought is you don't want to spend that much money on Le'Veon Bell when you have all these different ads. Like, I would rather them go out there and sign, like, just for instance, they could sign Trey Flowers. They could sign Landon Collins. They could sign a number of players just to add to their defense. They could add Anthony Barr if they wanted to. They could add CJ Mosley, like a lot of players they could add.
A lot of guys that are in the top 10 in this free agent class.
Yeah, exactly. They could add multiple players in the top 10. And instead of adding a running back, like you can, for this year, I wouldn't mind them bringing back Marshawn for another year. I think Marshawn played well last year, and maybe you draft somebody. You know me, I don't think the running back position is a be-all, end-all of a position. I think it's very replaceable. So, like, I wouldn't spend that much money in Le'Veon Bell. I understand he's a great player, but there's also concerns there if you do bring him in.
That's why I think drafting Josh Jacobs will work. I don't know how much you've seen of him from Alabama, but I think he's going to be the guy. And that's like the 28th pick in the draft or something. I don't remember exactly what number it is, but it wouldn't be that big of a reach. You know what I mean? It's not like a top 5 running back. It's still a guy that you can develop in. So, yeah, it would be – I don't know. I feel like obviously the connections are going to be there because AB's there, Steelers, all that stuff. But I just don't see it happening. But based on cap space, they're probably number 2 or number 3 in the race.
Antonio Brown, last season, 104 catches, 1,297 yards, led the league in touchdowns, 15. People have said he's kind of declined a little bit, but maybe that's true. But he still led the league in touchdowns. Yeah. Now, this kind of transitions over to our conversation about the Pittsburgh Steelers. We talked about a little bit with the Bills move. I think this affects Juju Smith-Schuster. How does he become the number 1 receiver? Does he take to it, or does it affect him in a negative fashion? He's going to have the number 1 corner on him. He's going to see double teams. What do the Steelers do in terms of replacing Antonio Brown? You can never replace a player that good, but who do they bring in at wide receiver? Do they sign a free agent? Do they draft somebody? There's a lot of questions to be answered for the Steelers. And hey, Big Ben, you need to answer the phone, bro. You need to answer the call. You need to play well, because you were the guy that basically knocked this guy right off your team.
There's a lot of questions to be asked in Pittsburgh. What are they going to do? You know, like everything that has revolved around Big Ben, like you said, and AB got pushed out because of him. I mean, we weren't there for most of this. It could be back and forth, but we heard a lot throughout the season this past year. The Steelers are in a dilemma. They're in quite the trouble right now. You don't have to worry about Cincinnati. Nobody has to worry about Cincinnati. But look at the other 2 teams around in the AFC North. The Ravens have constructed a young quarterback to lead this team with a really good defense. They might lose C.J. Mosley, but still a very solid defense that knows what they're doing. And they're always contenders for AFC North. Most years they are going to be contenders.
They're at least average.
Right. They're always at least in a certain area. And then you got the Browns. Again, we talked about this in either last night's video or Thursday's video, that maybe the expectation of them actually being good for once might be over their head. But knowing that they have a really good, young, developing team with the quarterback in place, Baker Mayfield, who looks like he's going to be a success in the league, and having every set piece around him, it's going to be tough now because there's a lot of competition within that division. The Steelers, you got an aging quarterback, Big Ben. You have a coach that we do not like because of his leadership. You've got a team that's surrounded in uncertainty, like what's going to happen here. Are we going to be able to focus or be there? Because the last couple seasons have been, here's all the drama in the first couple weeks. We're going to survive. We're going to get through this. But last year, you saw at the end of the year, AB didn't want to play, so he didn't do it. What game did Big Ben get hurt? But he wasn't really hurt. He just
the Raiders game.
The Raiders. Oh, there you go. Even better. Even better. That's quite a moment right there. Yeah, he just sat there. He's like, oh, I mean, I'm kind of hurt, but I don't really want to go back out there. So he just sat on the sidelines, didn't do anything, didn't go out there and actually work out. There's just not – it's not stable. That is the best word I think I can describe. It's unstable in Pittsburgh. And right now they really need to focus. They really need to say, hey, we got to get an attitude adjustment. We got to create some kind of vibe. Maybe these young guys like Juju can be leaders. But this team is going in the wrong direction very quickly. And I'm not like if you're a Steelers fan, I'm worried right now. Very worried.
I think a lot of people are wondering, will Antonio Brown, from a personality standpoint, work for the Raiders? And the reason why I say yes is because John Gruden has been very outgoing in terms of his thoughts of Antonio Brown. He's obviously he's praised him a lot. Yeah. Like, he's always said he's a great player. And of course we know that, but we know that John Gruden has a great history with veteran receivers, whether it was Tim Brown or it was Jerry Rice. This is the type of guy that he puts in the forefront of his team. He's going to make Antonio Brown the focus of his offense, his team, and he's going to make him he's going to put something on him to say, hey, Antonio, you're going to be our leader. You know, I think actually Antonio Brown is going to have to, I think what's going to help him in Oakland is that it's not going to be the Ben situation. It's going to be kind of like Antonio Brown's going to be the guy. So it's going to be more like, Antonio, you're leading the way for us. So I think that's what Antonio is going to like about Oakland or the Raiders.
I want to say this though. Remember when Keyshawn Johnson was the guy in Tampa Bay, and Gruden had his problems with him, and that's why Keyshawn left. I'm not saying that that's going to happen again, but he's had this issue with a very loudmouth, charismatic wide receiver. Now, is he better than Keyshawn Johnson? Yes, but I'm just saying it's happened before. That being said, though, that was 15 years ago. Things have drastically changed throughout then, and knowing a guy like AB, who, I mean, apparently he vetoed the Bills trade. I mean, I don't know. You can't veto it, but he really didn't want to go there. So knowing that he wants to go there is the right step. It's the first step in a good direction. And having a veteran coach like Gruden, who is a leader, is worth it. Yeah, let's let Kev Old jump in. He wants to jump in here.
All right, send him the link.
Well, he's got the link in there, but he can. I send him the shirt. But
okay. You want to get to the comments?
Yeah, let's get to comments here. By the way, thank you guys. I just want to put that in there. This is our first day where we've actually hit 100 subscribers in one day. That's pretty crazy to me.
Let's make it a trend.
Make it a trend.
If you haven't already subscribed, smash that subscribe button. Like the video.
I apologize to everybody. I can only go up to like the last 9 minutes because we're getting so many comments in here. So
yeah, thank you guys for the comments. We want to hear your opinions for sure.
Yeah, if you have anything,
Big Chest.
I'm going to start here with this comment from Abram. I believe that's how you say it. And I'm going to work my way down. So if you have any comments that I didn't get into there, put it in there right now. Abram says we still don't know what they gave up. Yeah, it's a 3rd and a 5th round pick for this year in the next month's draft.
Yeah.
Ryan, this was his comment in response to him, but I know Ryan said earlier in the chat that this doesn't help the Raiders. He thinks that they need, like, the second receiver is not solid enough. So he's not sold.
We brought that up. I think, just because they get AB, they still need to get a receiver in there. It would help to bring Jared Cook back. But they probably need to draft somebody or at least sign maybe a lower tier free agent. I don't think they can go out there and spend a ton more money on the receiver position. They need to spend that on their defense.
What about a Crabtree reunion? Something like that? I mean, it could be worth it.
Well, Gruden's the guy that cut him, so I don't really see that happening. Unless it's for really cheap.
I guess it would be. I feel like it would be. I don't know where.
Yeah, I don't think, like I said, I don't think Crabtree is going to be I don't think he's great anymore. So I would probably say it's going to be a lower money contract.
He was the best receiver on the Ravens last year, if that means any consolation. I don't know if it does.
I know he wants to hate on Mr. Big Chest, so why don't we let him hate on Mr. Big Chest? But we've been saying how great of a move this is for the Raiders, man. 3rd and a 5th round pick.
I agree, actually.
Wow.
I think this is a very good move for the Raiders, and they didn't give up a 1st round pick, which they had 3 of them. So and Derek Carr did not play bad in the second half of the season. So I think that's a nice little combination there. He's a guy that's going to get you at worst 90 receptions. So I think he's going to help there. Yeah, I think this is very interesting for how pissed off are you at Buffalo right now, first of all?
No, you know what I said, Kev? I wonder what was Buffalo giving the Steelers? I have to feel like they were probably getting a 1st round pick from Buffalo or something to that degree.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like the value of Antonio Brown, because he rejected the Bills as a destination, went significantly down.
Yeah.
So if you're a Steelers fan, I feel like you're that more pissed off. Like, all of a sudden, Antonio Brown went from a player that was going to get traded without any, choice in the matter to a player who basically decided to become a free agent.
He finessed him. He finessed him in every way. Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to find out what happened with Buffalo. But yeah, if you're a Steelers fan, I think you're probably upset at a number of levels. You didn't get enough for a guy that is the premier receiver in the league. He kind of screwed the team a little bit. You can make that argument. But if you're the Raiders, you got a top flight receiver that Carr and Brown can be a playoff competitive combination. I'm not saying they're going to win the division, but they can be.
They got a lot of work to do in other areas.
A lot of work to do, but it's a start. It's a really good start.
Yeah, it's a good start. And as much as we were all hating on Mr. Johnny, I think we gotta give him credit for this one.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It landed on his lap a little bit, but still, hey, you gotta,
Kev,
that's the Steelers' fault for not opening it up past
3 teams.
Yeah, if they would have opened it up a little bit more, I'm sure they would have got more, but that was totally up to them.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of teams also knew they had to get Brown out of there. So they were not, like, the likelihood of a first-round pick here was going to be small at best, and maybe Buffalo would have done it. I don't know, but teams were at such an advantage because they had to get Brown out of that dressing room.
Yep.
Kev, we were talking about this as an option. What do you think the chances of Le'Veon Bell coming to the Raider town as well?
Possible. I can see it. I still think it's going to be the Jets. I think the Jets are still in the lead for that. But I feel like, I can certainly see it. I almost think that Oakland's wanting to almost take a run now that they got the arena, in hockey mode, in the stadium kind of settled. You want to get a really good team at least into Vegas that you can get them excited about.
Mm-hmm.
That wouldn't be such a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is also we also put the Jets at number 1, but they got the cap space. They've got the money to do so. So
yeah,
just to throw it out there, I said that you got to draft a guy like Josh Jacobs in the late first round. I feel like that's a better option for them. But like you said, that star power could definitely help them out as they go in next year.
And I think they should spend all of their picks on defense in the first round. I think they spend it defensive end, safety or corner, linebacker. Like, spend all your first round picks on defense. Bring back Marshawn Lynch. Sign another guy or draft a later running back and work with that. Because really, when you're looking at the Raiders roster, again, pulling up their depth chart, they have holes at receiver. They need to bring in a running back. But besides that, they don't have a ton to really work with to really replace on offense. Like, yeah, it's not the best looking offense in the world, but their defense is a huge concern with the current roster they have. It's like holes everywhere.
That's why
they had a ton of problems stopping anybody last year.
Yeah. I feel like it's going to be Josh Allen in that 4th pick. And then it kind of just depends on where they think is suitable in the next 2 slots. Obviously, they're going to have to wait a time in that first round. But yeah, it's going to be a big need is the defense side.
All right, let's get back to the comments.
Back to the comments. Primo says they finessed the Steelers. There you go. That's the finesse word. He says re-sign Cook as well because we brought up Cook. Ollie, I'm going to go with Ollie. Suave. Derek Carr is ass. They couldn't do good with Crabtree and Amari Cooper. Amari was very inconsistent at his time in Oakland. I don't think that's just a one-man process.
I also think just from I think that injury affected Derek Carr more than we actually want to give it credit. Like, just from a technical, foundational standpoint, Derek Carr looked like a lot better just playing. Like he seemed like he was in the game, like his mind was in the game. He wasn't worrying about external things. He wasn't worried about the pressure, staring at the lineman, getting hurt. He wasn't worried about that. He was throwing the ball better just from a sound technical point of view. Like, he was all over the place at certain points early in the year and late last year. Like, I feel like Derek Carr, his mind kind of got back into that mode of where he was at in 2016. I'm not saying that he is a great quarterback, but I still think he has enough talent to be one that can win you games.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about it's all about where he wants to fit in, and obviously when you start off with a new coach, you start off with a different kind of chemistry and having to get that in place.
Yeah, and he had a whole new system. Exactly.
So maybe that was the reason he got thrown off the first half of the year, and he played better. Like Kevin said, he played better in the second half. So you never know. Ollie says Dak over Carr. I don't know why, but thanks.
This is an interesting point. He went 9 straight games without an interception last year. It was the last game against Kansas City. He threw 2, but from week
the Raiders quit in that game. I watched.
Yeah, absolutely. Week 16, he did not throw an interception.
Interesting. Let's see what else we got there. The coach is in the chat.
What's going on, Coach?
Marshawn Lynch will be hurt after 3 to 5 games in the season. Too old, need to go young. So he does not like.
I'm just saying I wouldn't spend all the capital on the running back position because of all the needs they need. Like, I wouldn't get Le'Veon Bell personally. I don't think they're in position to get him.
Because he'll want a really big contract. Like, AB's contract is not what we talked about this earlier. It's not terrible. Like, it's a pretty solid want.
He's going to want to renegotiate that though too, right?
It got
renegotiated.
It got renegotiated.
Oh, they did. Okay.
He's making 16 a year. I think he wanted 18.
Yeah, it was like 16.5 maybe. It was 50 million basically for 3 years. And then he's getting 30 of that guaranteed. I don't know. It kind of I haven't heard a thing from Marshawn. Like, I know that's normal, but like I haven't heard a single thing about what Marshawn wants.
No, I haven't either. But he probably will be like a late off-season acquisition, I would think. He'll be a guy that will want to skip training camp. I just want to point out to Kevel that it's a 3-year contract, which I think is perfect. It's only 3 years.
Yeah.
Sebastian says Raiders could also get Jordan Howard for cheap. I don't know if it's cheap, but there's your solution. Maybe
I would say he would probably cost like a 4th.
Yeah. Which, again, wouldn't be bad. I just don't want cheap. And I think he would be a solid running back there if you want to go like that.
Yeah, Jordan Howard is talented. I like
another one. Mike Davis may not be such a bad signing as well. Former Seahawk.
Yeah.
Could be a good fit there too.
I actually like Mike Davis in this time. Let's see. So yeah, okay, 4th, 24th, and 27th picks for the Raiders this year in the first round, I should say. Thank you, Jews 1440 for that. Ultra says the Pittsburgh Steelers are coming in 3rd in the AFC North this season. Anybody feel about that?
I'm not in the mood to predict that yet.
Not in the mood. What is this?
I need to see what happens in the draft and free agency. To say that before that happens.
Way too early to make predictions.
Yeah.
But I will say this. If there is a season that all of the shoulders is all of the pressure is on one guy right now as of mid-March, nobody has more pressure on them right now than Ben to do something.
Yes.
I would agree.
Said that he's the leader. He's their god. He got the guy that he wanted out of their dressing room.
Hey,
he has to do it.
His radio show is going to be must listen to every single week. I need to hear all of his.
Mark Madden's going to be all over it.
He's going to go on a show one day and be like, oh, this guy, we would have won if this guy just didn't do this. And, oh, my God, we could.
Now he's going to be saying, hey, Juju ran the wrong route in the end zone. That's why I threw it to the defensive lineman.
Which, that was a terrible throw. I know he's talking about, you're talking about the Denver game in alluding to that.
Yeah.
That was the worst throw. Like, come on, you're going to blame AB for the route, bro. Stop it.
Oh, I also want to ask Kevel's opinion on this. Is Mr. Big Chest the greatest nickname in the history of nicknames?
Who's it for?
Mr. Antonio Brown.
Larry Fitzgerald gave him the nickname.
It's not a bad nickname.
It's pretty hilarious.
It's quite funny.
Okay. Keep going with the comments. Let's try and rapid fire these.
Rapid fire. So Primo's asking where the Carr haters are at, aka Max Kellerman. Well, Max Kellerman's always been a hater of pretty much anything.
Max Kellerman's a hater of every quarterback.
Yeah, Max Kellerman only likes Max Kellerman.
And nobody likes Max Kellerman.
I'm just looking forward to Steve Smith getting excited about Lynn Swann's the Oakland Raiders acquisition.
Yes!
Stephen A.
I can't wait for that one. And Hines Ward's coming back, ladies and gentlemen. Hines Ward. Let's see.
Yeah, they got Hines Ward in the slot.
Deadly. They got it.
So the Raiders are working with Antonio Brown and Tim Brown now.
Okay, Adam is trying to defend what the Steelers have got going on for them. He says Steelers are fine. They have a Pro Bowl offensive line, defensive line. They need a stud linebacker in the 3-4 and a cornerback across from Hayden, Juju, James Washington, Connor, Samuels, maybe one more wide receiver, McDonald, Ben. They are okay. Thoughts? He just
see. I'll state this again. I'm not a huge Washington guy. I think he's fine, but I think they need to add somebody else into that mix.
They need to add a third guy, but I feel like he just wasn't given enough opportunities last year.
You also got to think about how Antonio Brown, again, we talked about this with the Bills and the Raiders. Antonio Brown, 8% of the time was double teamed. Juju Smith-Schuster, 0.8% of the time. This guy demands defenses to go to him, to take away him. That makes Vance McDonald better. That's why he was so good this year. That makes Juju better. That makes Rodgers better. That makes Washington better. That makes their run game better. So without him, okay, now the defense is going to be looking at Juju. Who else is going to step up there? And now Juju's not going to get, like the example I made, he's not going to be covered by J.C. Jackson. He's going to be covered by Stephon Gilmore now. It's the difference in who he's playing against too. And then I think they just need to add another guy that Ben can trust, because I don't know if he quite trusts Washington quite yet. Maybe he develops into something nice. I'm not sure, but I still think they need to add somebody to that. And again, not a huge Connor fan either. Like he's solid. I don't think you need to upgrade that position, but he's definitely not Le'Veon Bell.
Well, and the thing that I don't like about this comment is you list all that talent, and then I'm like, well, why didn't they win while all this talent was here with Le'Veon Bell and AB? Like,
yeah,
now you're losing both of them. So,
and Connor dropped off significantly at the end of last year.
Yeah, he was good for 12 games, and then when the fantasy playoffs happened, and everybody needed him, he didn't show up. There you go. Let's see. Ultra, thank you. Sub to BLV. That'd be great.
Ultra's the GOAT.
BLV should do a live call-in show during the offseason, says Rob. How do we feel about that?
I would like to do that. I just need to figure out how to do that.
I know
There's a way to do it.
There is a way to do it. I saw that Sports Fury did it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
There is ways to do
it. Coach sent me a tweet. I just want to point this out.
Coach.
So the net for the 3 major Raider trades so far is the Raiders have given up Khalil Mack, Amari Cooper, 3rd, 5th, 2nd, and a 6th. The 2nd and the 6th is in 2020. In exchange for Antonio Brown, 3 firsts, a 2nd, and a 5th.
Not bad.
It's not bad. It's pretty good.
So, you upgrade a receiver, and you lose Khalil Mack, but you have 3 firsts.
Again, it's all about hitting on those first-round draft picks. If they don't hit, this is a total.
Yeah.
If it works, though, good luck.
You got to think they're going to hit with at least one of those picks.
Josh Allen. If they get Josh Allen, they're hitting. I'm just going to say it right now.
Yeah, I've heard. Like if the Cardinals are dumb enough to draft Kyler Murray first,
they're going to.
I don't know.
We also discussed this, Kev. Do you think that the Raiders should pick Kyler Murray? We lean towards no, but
I know. Nope.
Is it because you're not sold on Kyler Murray, or are you just not sold on this Derek Carr, or sold on the Derek Carr process?
I think that I agree with Mitch. I think that their priority needs to be defense. This is a defensive draft, big time defensive draft. And from what I'm seeing here, Dwayne Haskins is better than Kyler Murray in a lot of people's eyes. So if you're going to pick a quarterback, the guy that I think people should be looking at more is probably Haskins.
Well, Giants are going to get him. If they do not get him,
they're going to pass him up.
They're going to
pass him
up for fucking Will Greer.
They got Eli, bro. What are you talking about? He's playing another 10 more years.
Well, Will Greer's good, but no, they're going to get a tall white dude. They cannot have anything else.
Eli Manning's going to be throwing 5-yard bullets in 10 years, bro.
And he's going to find Odell wide open 45 yards down the field. And then
can I just throw this out there? I'm shocked Odell has not demanded a trade.
I'm shocked he hasn't been more vocal about it. He's always vocal on Instagram.
No, he hasn't demanded a trade at all.
Yeah.
This is the Giants that want to trade him. He hasn't said anything.
the Giants are just going to let Odell get, or, put in the trade talks, and Landon Collins can just walk, but fucking Eli's still going to be throwing the football next year. How incompetent can you be? Like, honestly, this isn't rocket science. So annoyed with this team. But then again, as a Cowboys fan, I'll let them fail as much as they want.
This is also a big part of the trade. Adam Schefter just tweeted, as I got my notifications on. Antonio Brown is gone from Pittsburgh, but not forgotten. Brown will leave the Steelers with a dead money salary cap charge of over $21 million this season. Thought to be the biggest one-year salary cap charge in NFL history.
He finessed them. He didn't care about the corporation organization anymore.
Do you think this was the correct move for the Steelers to not open up the trade to the Patriots, the Browns, and the division? Because if they did, they could have gotten more.
I understand from a certain standpoint why you don't trade in your own division, because you're just basically helping them get to the goal. That being said, I would have opened up talks. Like, I wouldn't maybe in my head I was like, I don't want to consider this.
Like,
let me hear what the offer is.
Let me throw it out. Like, if you're sitting there and the Raiders are offering you a 3rd and 5th and you haven't spoken to the Patriots, would you get on the phone and say, Bill, you can have Brown for a 1st?
I'd ask what Bill would want first. I wouldn't want, I want him talking to me, because I imagine that's what they would have wanted him, obviously. So let me hear what you want, and then if it's a better offer, then I'm going to be more serious about it. I wouldn't have just excluded them, I'm automatically.
Because also thinking about this $21 million, is it worth it?
Not for the Steelers. It's stupid. they just demanded it's not like the Kyrie situation where he's like, I'm going to go to the Celtics or whatnot. He just forced his way out of there like crazy.
Wow. I think you should have opened it as much as possible to everybody. Even if it's a rival, take the chance. You don't know. Like, I can't believe that Pittsburgh is coming out of this with a guy that is going to be considered a legendary receiver in some way, shape, or form, that they're happy coming away with a 3rd and a 5th today.
And negative $21 million.
I think you have to figure out what's out there. And they were looking for at least a player and a 1st going into this.
Yeah.
And to come out with a 3rd and a 5th.
You got to imagine that's really mad. That's everybody's pissed in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. And they need, Adam pointed out all the offense. They need help on defense badly. I mean, they gotta focus on that in the draft as well.
They still got to focus on getting a linebacker while Shazier's out. They still got to focus on safety help. There's still quite a few positions they need. Let's get back to comments here for a moment. Coach is offering a Pierre Garçon to the Raiders. Maybe his
that honestly is such a Gruden player. I could see that 100%.
I definitely could see that. I like it.
Look at Jordy Nelson there. What are they going to do with that?
He's there.
He's there, but he's not
he's old.
He'll be better. I think he'll be a little bit better this year though, with AB around.
Probably, but
I'm not saying
not legendary
priority. But
I think Jordy Nelson is a fine 3. I don't think he's a 2.
He's a 3. I'd be fine with that. If I was the team, I'd be like, all right, this is a good player for 3 for 2 years. Steven says, "What's up, Kevel?" What's up? There you go. Jay Money says he wants the Raiders to, or he thinks, I don't know. He says sign Landon Collins, draft Josh Allen and Josh Jacobs. I'd honestly I think it'd be a pretty successful way to go. And then they still got one more draft pick there. I don't know. Ollie says Raiders 6-10. Well, that would be perfectly Raiders if they just went 6-10 after all of this hype. But
they don't have any hype. I just said they have no team.
Well, people were gonna put them up there just because AV's there. That's gonna happen.
Well, they're gonna be fun as hell.
It's gonna be interesting.
I'm definitely watching them.
Sebastian's predicting 8-8 in 2019. Again, we'll have our predictions a couple months down the road.
They're also in probably the toughest division in football. So
yeah, they got the Chiefs that are amazing. Chargers were 11-5 last year as a wild card. And
I would think the Broncos are better too this year, but
you never know. Broncos are always
going to be better coached, and we'll say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had maybe the worst coach in football. So,
but are they going to be better general managerized? Are they going to?
No comment from Kevil. Let's continue.
Elway, baby.
I give Elway credit when credit is due.
And they got January Joe. Okay, continue.
January Joe. That's so great. Ultra says Raiders need more defense to truly be competitive. Of course, that's what we said as well. We agree. Colton Miller finna give up 13 sacks next season. Well, that's terrible. Sign Frank Clark, says.
You can't. He's been franchised. Why are you? I know there's people interested. He's been.
I heard the Bills want to get him.
You could trade him.
It's possible. We'll take 2 first-round picks. We need draft picks anyway.
That ain't gonna happen for Frank Clark.
No,
that ain't gonna be a 2 first round.
There is rules on that franchise, though.
There is. It's a very sketchy thing, more than anything else. I don't know what you're gonna get out of him. Black and Gold Gamer says trade Carr to the Dolphins. Well, what are you gonna get out of the Dolphins for that? I mean, you still gotta. Then you would have to go draft a quarterback.
The Dolphins would be a team that needs a quarterback, but
they do.
This would only happen if they draft a quarterback.
Okay, but again, people, why are you acquiring Antonio Brown if you do not believe in Derek Carr?
Because they need a star.
They haven't even given him a chance, though. Like, he has to play with them at some point, and if it doesn't work.
We also do recognize that for as much as we all love Jared Cook was his best target last year. We do realize that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
When they should still sign him more than anything else.
Jordy Nelson.
I'm going to point this out again. He went 10 straight games without throwing an interception.
It's worth it. People are questioning whether or not Carr is a bad player. Again, more Dolphins talk. I still think they're going to get that kid from Duke. That's who I think they're going to draft. Let's see. Scrolling down a little bit. Why does AB go from a non-playoff team to another non-playoff team? I guess in that way you could say that.
Not really. It wasn't up to him that much.
If he just somehow vetoed this trade to the Bills, I don't know what his power was over here. Steelers is going to give up and let him do whatever. I guess
people realize that they're going to Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Kevil, are you upset that the Seahawks did not try and get him?
Nope.
Oh, because I don't even think they were really in the running for it.
They have 4 draft picks. If it would take 2, then we'd be down to 2 draft picks. It's not worth it.
Wait, you only have 4 picks, like in the first what?
What did you do with the other ones?
Is that
we traded a bunch of stuff to get stuff.
To get stuff.
We traded stuff to get stuff.
Traded stuff to get stuff.
Yusuf says he thinks Flowers is going to go to Miami. Well, there's the Patriots connection once again. Let's see. Anything else here? Somebody said Josh Allen's gonna be the next Khalil Mack. Well, that's definitely a hype there.
That's a lot.
Josh Allen's pretty damn good, but Khalil Mack's also Khalil Mack. Max Kellerman's an idiot. Gotta throw that in there because who doesn't love that? I think this says a lot about what the Raiders will do at their quarterback position. AB not signing with us to play with a rookie. So he's saying the Caesar's saying
he believes in Derek Carr too.
He believes in the Derek Carr process. You need to get in there. Deshaun says he thinks the Raiders are going to make the playoffs. I guess that assumes this season. I don't know about that. They still got a lot of work to do on that, Dave.
Again, not in the mood to predict.
I'm not making any predictions until August.
I'm not making a record prediction. I'm just putting it out there. Somebody,
it'd be wild if the Chiefs let go of D Ford and the Raiders scooped him up.
But that would be a really good play. Like, that would be so good. I still don't know why they're getting rid of Ford. I don't understand it.
Or he's on the block, I think.
I don't get it. You better get a really good value for him.
They're changing their defensive scheme, and he's making money, so
I'm fine with Houston getting released. I just don't like that D Ford is going to be one of these guys.
No, I think it's stupid, but I'm just throwing it out there. It might happen.
Yeah. They're basically said, what the fuck was 2018 defense-wise? They're going to just change everything up. But it's still a very talented player you're going to give up for probably not what you want. Deshaun says Haskins is friends with Eli and Saquon. Well, I mean, Eli can just fuck off, honestly. Rosen to the Skins. Nah, they just got their quarterback, bro. And somebody brought that up the other day. That ain't gonna happen.
Rosen destinations out tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I forgot you were gonna make that video. There you go. Check that out. Giants need a new team. Yeah, they need a new everybody. No, they just need a new quarterback. All right.
A future poll: who is worse run, the Giants or the Knicks?
Oh, they're
Knicks.
both
Okay. Next.
terribly. Yeah, at least the Giants are just run by one terrible quarterback. The Knicks are just awful. Everything. Let's see. Let's see what else we can get out of that. Coach says Raiders fantasy values. What is the fantasy value for some
Again, we need to see who they draft and who they pick up. Antonio Brown is a pretty good fantasy value, though. I would probably throw that out there.
You know what I'm saying?
Potentially Derek Carr, maybe. We'll see. Guys, subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video. Follow us on Twitter in the description. Hit us up.
We're at 7718, guys. We started off just at 7,700, so thank you guys for that. Cowboy X Factor says, Dylan, respect to you. Thank you, bro. I got the Van Der Esch shirt on. You know, we still got to bring it out here, even though this is nowhere near a Cowboys video. Where do you think Kyler Murray is going?
Arizona.
It's got to be Arizona.
Yeah, and it's not a good move.
Kevel hates it.
It's not.
Kevel's secretly scared because he's a Seahawks.
Which is weird because, like, out of any quarterback that's so similar to Kyler Murray in the pro level, it's Russell.
But there's such a difference between the two.
He is Russell Wilson.
Honestly, it's like I don't see much of a difference. I see a college.
I think Kyler will be good.
He'll be good. And Arizona's
I don't know how good, but he'll be good.
Not bad. Besides their offensive line.
I just think Arizona should be focusing on defense.
I think Arizona needs everything. All right.
This is Kingsbury. You know what I'm saying? He's going to he was offense. He was coach when Mahomes was at Tech. So he knows.
Basically, my point is if you're going to bring in Cliff freaking Kingsbury, who got basically fired from a college team, let him bring in his quarterback that he wants to bring in. You're going all in with this guy, so might as well.
Well, they played the ultimate trap game of the Sean McVay effect, where they're just going to get a new young head coach. So if you're going to do this plan, go for it. Whatever.
Well, WWSD. What would Sean do?
What would Shawnee boy do? There you go.
I prefer WWBBD, but that's just me.
What would Big Ben do?
Belichick.
Nah, I gotta go with Big Ben. So gross.
Okay.
One of them's good. One of them's Cooper, 3rd and 5th round for AB. Genius, says Jimmy. Loves this. It's genius. Raiders are still a dumpster fire even with AB, says Charles. Well, that's what the draft is for, I guess. Rob says Kings or Jews. Thank you. He says he's gonna subscribe right now. Thank you. Rob says Kingsbury will get a rude awakening from McVay and Kyle Shanahan. You know what I'm saying?
Go 49ers.
And the last comment here, Steven says, I watched the 2017 draft reaction. What up with your hair, Mitch? I don't know what the 27.
It was really long.
Oh. Well, I guess I've taken that, you know. Don't worry.
I didn't even notice.
What?
Did you get a haircut or something?
No, he's talking about 2017.
Like, because it was really long in that video, and now it's spiked up in the front, which is where I'm more used to, anyways. That's what I got at the comments right now.
All right. I think that pretty much wraps it up.
Yeah, I think so.
We talked about pretty much everything. So
all angles.
Yeah, guys. Again, thank you for all the new subscribers that we've been getting lately. It's been quite the ride. Our most successful month, and it's only 9 days in, or 10 days now. In almost 10. Well, we got the whole day, but 10 days. yeah, so thank you guys for the subscribers. Thank you guys for the support. Continue to support. If you haven't already subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already like the video. You can follow us on Twitter at Mitch Milani. It's in the description. That's me, Dilly Vanilli. Where can they follow you?
You can follow me at the Dilly Vanilli. We'll have to change that up, but you can find it on there if you search Twitter.
And Kevol.
At KEVOLE.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. It's been fun. Antonio Brown, AB, Mr. Big Chest, is an Oakland Raider. Thanks, guys. Peace out.
Peace.